I will show you how to use Sumo Paint to do a digital painting. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on this link. So it will bring up the Sumo Paint drawing tool. You should automatically get this screen. If for some reason you don't, if you go to Apps and Sumo Paint, and you click Open, then you should get to the correct place. So just like any other drawing, the best thing to do is to have an idea of what I wanted to draw to start with. So in this one, I'm going to be drawing a pumpkin, and so I have a source image that I've already found online, and it's right here. So then I'm going to be looking at this to help me draw the pumpkin. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to a pencil tool because I'm going to do a sketch of my pumpkin before I start painting. You could go directly to painting, but I think it's a good idea to start with a sketch just like I would if I was drawing on paper. I want to take the diameter of my pencil down to pretty small, around a 2 or 3. And then I'm going to actually draw the pumpkin right here on my screen. And if I mess up or something like that, then I can certainly go back and erase. It doesn't have to be exactly like the picture. I'm just trying to get a basic sketch in there of what I'm drawing. I could go ahead and add the background, like a line right here. So then the next thing that I can do is I'm going to actually use the paint bucket tool. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go ahead and just do a broad paint of this. Now, if you do not close your lines off, it's going to paint the whole picture, as you'll see in just a minute, the whole background. So make sure that your lines are closed off there. So I'm going to find that kind of the orange that it basically is. And choose that color. And then I can fill my pumpkin. Now, then I'm going to go ahead and choose like a brown, kind of like a tan brown for my stem. Now, some people would say, oh, I've painted my pumpkin, I'm done. But no, we're going to actually take this a step further to try to make it look a little bit more realistic. So a really nice thing about Sumo Paint and Pixlr as well is that you can add another layer. And I can paint on this layer, and if I don't like it, I can just delete the layer instead of having to delete my whole image. So now I'm going to go to the paintbrush tool, and you'll see up here with the paintbrush tool, I have a lot of different brushes I can use. And when I'm actually going to paint digitally, I like to use a brush that looks more like a real brush would. So I kind of like some of these ones over here to the side, or excuse me, to the bottom, like this basic brush that kind of looks like a watercolor brush. I'm going to turn my diameter down. It's about 11 or 12. And then something that a lot of people don't think about is your opacity. Your opacity is how much you can see the layers below it. So I'm going to turn my opacity down to around 30% just to start off, so that as I layer my paint, I'm going to make my brush size just a touch bigger. As I start to layer my paint at the first, then it'll show some of the other paint that's underneath it through there. So here on colors, there's some swatches that I can use. got a little smaller. So I can choose over here. If I look at this pumpkin, there's some like darker values of orange. So I'm going to choose a little bit darker orange. And a brush, I got to get it right to the, yeah, that looks good. So then I'm going to start painting my pumpkin with a little bit of that darker orange. Now you can see this is a really gradual color switch. I actually could even go a little bit darker and see what that looks like. And I'm going to start painting my pumpkin to make it look a little darker. I could turn my opacity up a little bit if I want to make it a little bit more dramatic. So we'll go at like a 50%. So you can see I'm just starting to add some darker values to my pumpkin to make it look a little more realistic. So I'm looking right there at the image. If I go over the lines, it's not that big of a deal. I can always go back and clean that up later. So I'm just painting in here just like if I was normally painting. Then I might come in here with a lighter value. Again, I play with my opacity because I want to be able to blend my colors. I don't want it to be so stark. Now, say like I feel like that need to zoom up on this. I can go right over here to view, or excuse me, zoom in and get a little closer so that I can see these little details a little better. Sometimes it's hard to get your diameter right where you want it. I'm going to come in here with even a darker value of orange to get some of these shadows in here. Particularly like around the stem area. And then I'm going to zoom out to see what I've got, how it's looking. Not too bad. If I really want to brighten it up, I may choose even brighter, almost like a white or a cream here for a couple of these like little places where there'd be like a highlight to really make it pop. And I can keep going and really, I mean, a lot of painting or drawing is looking. So like really looking for where there's places, there's lighter areas and darker areas to make it look more realistic. I need to work on my stem a little bit, so I need to work on maybe this brown. Alright, so we're going to zoom up a little bit so that we can work on the stem.